Imagine this. Tomorrow the government announces, starting today, everyone gets $1 million. You wake up and suddenly your bank account shows all that money. It feels like life is finally perfect. You can buy a car, a house, go traveling. But there's a catch. Within just a few days, prices in stores skyrocket by tens of times. And now, your million isn't even enough for a new pair of sneakers. So why does this happen? Why can't the government just print money so everyone becomes rich? At first glance, money seems equal to wealth. If the government or people don't have enough, well, just print more. But money isn't wealth by itself. It's only a symbol, a kind of ticket that gives access to real things: bread, cars, services. And what happens if there are too many tickets, but the number of seats in the theater stays the same? If you print more money while the number of goods and services doesn't grow, here's what happens. There's more money, but not more stuff to buy. As a result, prices rise. That's inflation. A simple example. You have 10 apples and $10. Each apple costs $1. Now imagine you print another $10. There are $20 chasing the same 10 apples. Suddenly, each apple costs $2. And while this may sound like an abstract theory, history proves it's very real. Whenever countries actually tried to fix their problems with the printing press, it ended in disaster. Weimar Germany, 1920s. After losing World War I, the country was forced to pay huge reparations to the victors. The government didn't have enough gold or resources, so it began printing massive amounts of paper money. At first, this seemed like a solution, but very quickly it turned into chaos. Prices skyrocketed every day. Salaries had to be paid twice a day so people could buy food before prices rose again. And ordinary citizens carried cash in bags or even wheelbarrows just to buy a loaf of bread. This is one of the classic examples of hyperinflation. Zimbabwe, 2000s. The government printed money to cover budget deficits. The result was inflation reaching millions of percent. Banknotes with denominations in the trillions appeared in circulation, but they were practically worthless. Venezuela, 2010s. The government tried to support the economy by printing money. The outcome was prices changing several times a day, store shelves going empty, and cash itself becoming cheaper than a roll of toilet paper. So this isn't just theory. These are real examples of what happens when there's more money, but no more wealth. Which raises the question, if the printing press is such a dangerous toy, then who decides how much money should exist in the economy? To prevent chaos, every country has a central bank. Its job is to make sure there's enough money in circulation, but not too much. Printing money can work, but only when the economy is actually growing, when more goods and services are being produced. If money is printed without that growth, incomes don't really rise, only prices do. So the printing press doesn't make us rich, which brings us to the bigger question. What actually creates wealth? Real wealth comes from work, technology, and innovation. The printing press is just an illusion, one that quickly destroys trust in money. True growth happens when we produce more valuable things, not when we simply add more zeros to our banknotes. And this brings us to the final conclusion. If wealth is created by people and the economy itself, what happens when a country chooses the easy way out, by printing money? So the next time someone says, "Why doesn't the government just print everyone $1 million?" Remember, money without goods and services is worthless. True wealth isn't the number of bills we hold, but what we can actually create and buy with them.